Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for an update on the cheap car challenge build that we're doing with this 1980 Pontiac Sunbird. So I figured if Cletus is going to get a turbocharger that he is not going to budget for, we are actually going to budget for this Bullseye Turbo. We're going to run a door sticker as well. Take that, Cletus. We are attempting to build the fastest car that we can for a $10,000 budget. Alright guys, it is dyno day for this 1980 Sunbird. The plan is to take this to Six Summer, which is happening in like 2 weeks. I have both of the boxes almost maxed out on analog inputs. Guys, preparation continues for Six Summer. We plan to bring 2 cars, one for myself and one for my dad. Our plan was to bring this car right here, our 2010 Camaro SS. I think that we are starting to have issues with the transmission slipping. In a couple of the burnouts, you may have noticed that when it went into third gear, the rear tires stopped spinning. And the RPM of the engine was still at a higher level. If anything, when you go into third gear, the wheel speed should increase significantly. So we're either seeing an extreme slippage in the torque converter, or the transmission is starting to slip pretty bad. The problem is I don't have input shaft speed to look at, so I can't really see where the problem is. But going back to our slippage down track, maybe what we're seeing is not torque converter slip, but slippage of the clutches in the transmission. And this is very bad news. Once they start to slip, it only gets worse. Now, we have other Turbo 400 transmissions sitting around that we could put into this combination, but the last issue that we need to talk about is the lack of performance off the starting line. In previous videos, we showed off that we did some changes to the independent rear to try and get it to have more separation and plant the rear tire harder. Yeah! Yes! We thought we had solved our traction issues with this car, but it seems like it's always 1 step forward, 5 steps back with this thing, and we've only gotten it to do cool stuff on like 1 pass ever. Now, the next time that this thing goes out to a drag and drive, my family and I, we wanted to do something cool. We wanted to live up to the performance potential that is clearly available on the car. And if it's not going to do that, it's really not worth taking. When I run my station wagon, which has a Fox body rear suspension, it goes down the track every single time with way less tire than what this car has. And the same is true with the 3rd gen Camaro that we just installed a Hellcat Supercharged on. And funny I should bring that up. Let's go talk about that. Well, at this point, you probably think that Camaro's growing trees around here, because in place of one Camaro, we're going to take another. It is clear that you guys have really taken a liking to this car right here, and so we want to take it out and show it off to you guys. If you guys aren't familiar with this car, this is our 1985 Chevy Camaro. The car originally came equipped with a 60-degree V6. That junk was long gone when we got a hold of the thing, and we decided to swap in a LS style engine. It has seen turbo, naturally aspirated, and now supercharged duty with our Jeep Trackhawk Hellcat style supercharger that we just installed using some adapter plates from our friends over at Trinity Performance and Design. Now, the goals with this car is pretty much to jump into whatever class that it fits, and we would really like to see this car go a 9-second pass every single day. And next, I'm going to show you some of the changes that we have recently made to the car to make it more drag and drive friendly. All right, so let's start back here in the back of the car. Now, a drag and drive is very much a war of attrition. And previously, we had the exhaust dumping right in front of the rear axle. And one of the upgrades that we did to the car is we made it so that the exhaust runs over top of the rear axle and out the back of the car. We are experiencing very bad drone issues going down the highway. The car was kind of miserable to ride in, and with the exhaust now coming out the back of the car, it is pretty much dead silent. My dad will be driving this one, and he is very happy with how it is performing. Another change that we made to the car is we actually installed a smaller blower pulley down at the damper. The reason that we did this is that we were spinning the supercharger to right around 18,500 RPM on the dyno. Now, they make ceramic bearing kits for these superchargers, and the people who are in the business of selling these bearings, they don't recommend that you spin them over 18,000 RPM without their ceramic bearing kit. You could probably push it a little bit further, but to be safe, we are going to run it at right around 17,500 RPM maximum for the first 4 days. And then on the final day, maybe we'll put the party pulley on it and see what this thing can do. And we should be able to still get the car into the nines very easily with this supercharger pulley arrangement, so no worries there. The other car that we plan to bring is this, our 1980 Pontiac Sunbird, and we have gotten quite a few street miles on this car. And I just wanted to give you guys a brief update on how that is going. Now, the last upgrade that we are installing on both cars is we are going to put belly pans on both of these cars. Sick Week requires that you have a fluid containment device when you plan to go 999 and faster, but we're going to do this for more than just because it's required, and let's get into that now. Having a belly pan on the car is a great idea because in the event of an engine failure or just a leak in the car, it's going to keep you safer. Not only that, but it could potentially keep fluids off the track and not ruin the day for everybody else. And I have spent a lot of time making it so that the belly pan comes all the way out to the sides of the frame and catches any potential fluid leaks in the car. But also in the back, I have sealed it up against the front of the transmission and added some walls here in the back, which will redirect the fluid back forward if we experience any fluid accumulate in the belly pan, so that hopefully there is no ability for the fluid to get out. All right, guys, before we go to Sick Summer, I wanted to double check that the injectors that we've been running in the car are still flowing what they used to. Last year at Sick Summer, this is what took us out of competition. We had an injector stop firing because it got debris in the injector, and this was the result. Now, when you build a car, there's likely going to be debris in your fuel lines from assembling your fittings or, what have you. You kind of hope that your fuel filter will catch some of it, but if the debris is post fuel filter, it can get into your injector. All right, they're close enough to where I left them, so I think we are good to go. So we're gonna get these things thrown back in the car and we're going to 6 summer. And with that, I'm going to end this video off here. Just kidding. Guess what? We have transmission issues. So you remember that issue I was talking about a few videos ago about how I would hit the trans brake and then hit the bump button and the car would just keep moving forward and not reapply the trans brake? Well, guess what? That issue's back. And we're trying to figure that out right now on the Sunbird. This has been an all-out thrash, guys. At this point, you know, we're probably going to get both cars to the event, but I'm definitely getting a little uncomfortable. I really want the Sunbird to do well at the event, but a lot of my hopes and dreams there are kind of starting to fly out the window. So wish us luck, say a prayer for us. We're really trying to get to this event, and we're really excited to see you guys out there. So. All right, so here's what I think is happening. How this system works is fluid pressure is applied to this servo right here, and it pushes this big piston up, and that applies the reverse band down inside of your transmission. Now, most of your trans brake kits come with a super heavy duty release spring on this reverse servo, and what I think is happening is this really heavy duty spring is making it so that, you know, it can get applied, but it can't get reapplied once the you know, planetaries have a little bit of speed to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a stock spring back into this reverse servo, and hopefully that solves our problem. We were really fighting to try and get this thing to the track, but we just ran out of time. So we're gonna have to do it live at the event. We will have the opportunity to test the car on registration day. So make sure that you guys go check out the Freedom Plus live stream for the event. Hopefully you'll be seeing both cars featured pretty heavily. We'll see what happens.